Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Business of Good Live here with Entrepreneur. I'm Jason Haber, the author of Business of Good. You know, we're in a totally different setting today. Usually we're in offices or conference rooms, but today we're live at the Nolcha shows for New York Fashion Week, and we have with us two amazing people that are going to talk to us about social entrepreneurship, but also about courage. And so I'm so happy that you guys can be with us today. Karen Hansen, Laura Rockland of Wren and Roch. You're Wren?
Yes.
And you're Roch.
Yes.
I like how you came up with the name.
Right. Karen is the Wren, and my last name obviously is Rockland. So some people pronounce it Roch, but hopefully as the brand starts to gain recognition, they'll know that
Roch
it's
is better than Roch.
Yes, it is. Anytime.
Absolutely. So before we came on air, we were chatting before, and Karen, you said something to me. You said, this company is the reason we were born. Can you explain that to me?
Well, we've been entrepreneurs for over a decade, for 17 years, and we've had a lot of life experience. So I feel like everything that we've done until this point has all kind of led up to where we are now. So it's the idea of still being business owners, but also giving back and taking the stories and the experiences that have happened to us and doing something with those, doing good with those. Not just giving back, but being a voice for survivors and for victims, which I'm sure we'll talk about more. But that's really, it's fulfilling is not even the right word to describe. It's been an amazing journey, and we're just at the beginning. We're just getting started.
And by the way, guys, as we talk about the journey during this interview, feel free, if you have any questions, to chime in. Jeffrey, our director here, will feed the questions over to us. So, don't be shy if you'd like to know more about the company or about the story that you're about to hear. Also, just for sharing it today, we're going to pick someone to receive a free signed copy of the Business of Good. So if you share it on Facebook Live, we'll select one of the people who shared it, and we'll send you out a free book later today. So let's get more into the detail. Laura, you want to start and by sort of giving us the backstory here?
Absolutely. So the mission of Wren and Roch is to empower victims and survivors of rape, domestic violence, and childhood sexual assault by raising awareness, because we need to be having these conversations more often. They are starting to make the news, but we really need to promote it and continue going here. Eliminating stigmas, because there's a lot of victim blaming when it comes to all three of those issues. So we really want to eliminate the stigmas and then ultimately educate for the prevention of abuse. Studies show that 95% of abuse can be prevented through education. The reason why we're doing this is our brand is by survivors for survivors. Karen and I were both victims of college campus rape. Karen's resulted in pregnancy and the birth of her daughter, who will be 22 next month. Mine was a date rape situation, but back 20-some years ago, you didn't talk about this because it wasn't a stranger, rape, someone breaking into your house wearing a scary ski mask with a knife to your throat. So if you knew someone or if it was an acquaintance, it was like gray rape. And you really couldn't report it because people may not necessarily believe you. So for us, we carried that around for all these years. Then fast forward, and we both became victims of domestic violence in our marriages. Mine lasted for over a decade, off and on. And it was economical, it was verbal, it was emotional. Didn't really get to the point where it was physical, but I did feel trapped. And that's coming from a woman who's very strong, independent, and smart and confident. Ultimately, when I finally had the courage to leave, after 16 years of marriage and 3 children, my husband had ended his life. Karen's situation took a different turn. She ended up getting married when her daughter was 11. And when her daughter was 12, Karen was 3 weeks away from giving birth to her husband's son, when her daughter came to her and told her that her husband had sexually molested her. So that's why we're tackling all 3 of these issues. We've had enough. We are no longer victims, we are survivors. And this is our way of giving back. And we are donating a percentage of our proceeds to organizations that are in alignment with our mission, that focus on domestic violence and childhood sexual assault.
It's interesting, though, the way you're giving back. The goals that you just mentioned, to me, and to people watching, might sound like the kind of thing that's done by, a nonprofit or a company, not a fashion company, right? So that's what I find so interesting. So how did you decide to connect the two?
We have always said that we wanted to design handbags, and originally it just seemed like this crazy idea that sounded fun, and we were best friends, we're business partners, we've been business partners for, a very long time, and it just sounded like a fun idea. So one day, when we kind of woke up and said we need to do something with our story, we just thought, okay, well, maybe we can combine fashion, which we are passionate about in a different way, combined with our story, and like we said, to be able to give back.
And what have been some of the results? I mean, you've done a lot of work with these different organizations. First, can you tell us who you work with, and then what the outcomes have been?
So we launched.
Who wants to go first?
There's so much to say, and it's been such a short time.
Right. I mean, it's been a whirlwind. So we officially launched Wren and Roch in October, and the two organizations that we give money to for like e-commerce sales and sales that aren't related to specific trunk shows go to two organizations that are located in Miami-Dade County in Florida. One is Lawrence Kids. Lawrence Kids is an international organization, and they bring awareness to childhood sexual assault. The other one is Safe Space Foundation, and that is for domestic violence. So, we are hoping to be able to empower these women that are there in these shelters and say to them, this might be where you are today, but it doesn't define your life, and it doesn't mean this is where you're going to be tomorrow. And I think, for people, they look at the two of us and ultimately would judge a book by its cover, because on the outside, we've had a great life. We started a commercial interior design firm in 2001. We're best friends. We have 5 amazing children between the two of us. And people probably think, what have they ever had to worry about? But what was going on behind the scenes while we're trying to run these companies is domestic violence and sexual assault. So we feel like we can really be, a role model, and to show these, women, and it happens to men, it's not just women, that there's someone there who's willing to carry the torch on behalf of all victims and survivors.
Also just, as business owners too, it was important to us to be able to still maintain a company, to be able to make money. And at the time, we didn't even know that social entrepreneurship was a thing. We just thought, okay, how can we combine our business with doing good? And, it turns out there's a whole movement of social entrepreneurship, and it's very exciting. I think it's kind of the new way of, instead of just volunteering your time, or instead of just starting a foundation, which we do have a foundation as well. We have the for-profit and a not-for-profit foundation. But we thought we were kind of creating something new, and like I said,
there's this whole space
out,
there.
Yes,
that's how it happens for a lot of
huge.
entrepreneurs. It's organic, and they're realizing that they're part of a larger community. And then also part of that is consumers react differently to the product, because you're able to, first, you can market it differently.
Right.
And then secondly, you're telling different stories, and you're able to connect with consumers on a whole different level. I wonder, what has been the reaction, and we'll talk about the specific bags in a minute, but like the reaction of consumers to the ethos of the company, what the company's all about?
It's been amazing. People have been so supportive, and just, people buy into not just the brand, but the mission of the brand. And, it's been a lot of either survivors, or something happened to someone's family, or, we got an email this week from someone who bought a bag, and she said, I bought the bag because it was beautiful. I hadn't even read your mission. I didn't even know what it was about. But now that I've read your mission, I'm so proud to carry your bag, and I will be a customer for life. So it's about the quality of the handbag. It's about the level of attention and detail that we put into every single bag and every single design. But it's also more about the mission and, getting our story out there and empowering others.
Right. See, being a social entrepreneur doesn't give you a free pass. And by that I mean, if the handbags are of poor quality, because you had this great component to the company, people wouldn't say, oh, well, I don't really like the bag, but I like the mission. Like, it doesn't work that way. Everything about being an entrepreneur is hard. It's even a hard word to spell.
Yes,
right? Like it's French, so maybe that explains it. It comes from the French for adventurer. And because it's hard, it's even harder for a social entrepreneur, because you have to do both at the same time. and it's much more difficult. But here you are. You've been in business since October.
Yes, officially launched
since October.
Technically for 3 years,
and
but
here you are at Fashion Week in New York. So it must have been quite a busy few months.
It has been. It's been, like we said, a whirlwind, because the more people we share our story with, the more they want to help us. Like Karen was saying, we've got a great, community that's really rallying behind us. And, through a friend, we got invited to the White House. We were there on January 5th to meet with Vice President Biden.
We just got it in.
Yeah.
Just got it in. To attend a summit for ending sexual assault on college campuses. It's on us. And so we are, working towards becoming a corporate partner. So we really felt like this has blossomed, that we can do more than just donate money to organizations, that we can really become an integral part of this mission and to really change the conversation.
Use your own voice in the conversation.
Exactly.
And that's what we're finding out. The more that we share our story and say, hi, I was a victim of rape and domestic violence, we get all these stories back. And it's almost like a relief for people when they look at us and say, wow, I never would have guessed, but that also happened to me.
Because people aren't used to, there's the silence problem,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
The shame that comes with it, and that's something, so you're also trying to break through that too with the bags and your story and being out there.
Right.
And how hard is that for people to, like, when you tell this story, do you often get people coming up to you and, wow.
We have such a mix of reactions. I mean, there are people who start crying, and like Laura said, they say, oh, I was a victim as well. There are some people who don't quite understand why we would share our story. Like, why would you tell everyone that you're a victim of rape? And our answer to that is, the reason we think that there are so many victims of these subjects is because the victims are not speaking out, because you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, you blame yourself. And the only way to stop this is to put the spotlight where it belongs, which is on the predators, the people who are doing these things. So we are talking about it. We are taking names, and we're on a mission. We will not stop until we see significant change.
And where do you see the company going now? So you've had this great launch, you're in business now. Like, what's the next step for the company? Entrepreneurs are always about pivoting or evolving. What's next?
We have a lot of plans. Do you want to?
Anything that you can say?
Yes.
We are live.
Yes,
So once you say it,
absolutely. Put it out there. The more you share with the world, then they can help.
So we started with handbags because we felt like it would be the easiest to get to market. So eventually our ultimate goal is shoes. But there are a lot of things that will happen in between there. So handbags right now, we've just come out with a few accessories like chokers and cuffs and things like that. My daughter is gay, and with that, we've had several conversations about how to embrace and support the LGBTQ community. So our goal at some point is to have androgynous and unisex clothing and accessories. So that, our brand is really all about being inclusive. So whether it's age or race or religion or sexual orientation, whatever it is, we want to bring everyone together because we feel like this is an issue that crosses all boundaries. It knows no limits. So I missed something, but I'm not sure what it was. So clothing, accessories, and shoes ultimately. Yes.
And I think what makes our platform a little different than some other brands, I mean, you hear brands that will donate a percentage of proceeds for like one product or for a period of time. And our platform is high fashion, giving back to every piece of merchandise that's sold from now until the end of time, because that's how we feel that donating and talking about awareness and sharing our story and really being involved on a social level is where change is going to come. We were at the United Nations 2 weeks ago to attend the Youth Forum event. We were one of the sponsors. And the UN just launched at the end of 2015 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And it's great because our brand aligns with 2 of those goals. Goal number 5 is gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. And goal number 12 is sustainable consumption and production. So our handbags are made in the USA. They're made specifically in New York City,
right here,
in the garment district. We did look at overseas as an option because at the end of the day, this is still a company and it still needs to make a profit so we can continue to do what we're doing. But when we looked at the quality and we compared and weighed the pros and cons, we thought this mission's too important to cheapen the brand.
And we have a question.
Please don't
choke.
mine.
So emotional. All right, Jeffrey.
Joan asks, advice for fresh women in business, more specific freelancers, and please your information if possible.
So advice on
fresh women in business and more specifically freelancers.
I mean, the main advice that I would give to any entrepreneur would be follow your passion. Find out what it is that, or come to terms with what it is that moves you. And then do something that's related to that, because we always say, do what you love and the money will come. So what we're doing is based on our life experiences, on what we love to do, and then P.S. it's a company as well. So, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, and get out there and talk to as many people and share your vision with as many people as you possibly can, because you have no idea, you could be 1 degree of separation from someone who says, oh, you should talk to this person or you need to get in touch with that company. And that's what's helped us with, getting invited to the White House, getting involved with United Nations, being here at the, NOLTA shows,
right,
all in 4 months, because we're sharing, what we want.
Yeah, and the fact is that people want to help you. I mean, especially for women or for entrepreneurs, when people find out what you're doing, that's exactly it. They want to help move you forward. So.
You said something interesting too while I was joking earlier. You said the bags are made not only in the USA, but right here.
Yes.
Why not make them in China?
We love it. We love our
country. You guys really are
yes,
close. Tell your friends you both did the same thing at the same time.
Because we are so passionate about it. I mean, we are so proud of our country. And, things changed for us after 9/11. That was the year that we started our first company. And it had a major impact on our company. It had a major impact on us as people. And we did look at overseas, at China and Portugal and Poland. I forgot the other P. But, the quality wasn't there, or the minimum number of pieces that you had to order. It was 600, and we're just starting,
right,
so we can't have 600 of any one color bag, when no one knows who we are. So it was very important for us to manufacture here, and it was just a bonus that it happened to be in New York City and not even just anywhere in the United States. So we were thrilled. We're very proud of it.
Very little gets made here anymore relative to how even the garment industry, of course, used to be, huge and this thriving, important piece of the economy.
Yes.
It's obviously, shrunk now. But do you see, it's important to you that that's done.
Yes.
And you've talked about how it's important to the brand, and that's something you hope that'll continue even as the brand grows?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, depending on what happens with apparel and things like that, we have to see just from a financial point of view where everything goes. But like we said, we love the fact that it's made in New York City. If something happened where we could do things elsewhere in the U.S., we would consider that as well. So we're really open to anything. I mean,
and where are the bags? Where can someone buy the bags?
Well, we have a website. It's wrenandroch.com, and so we have sales online, e-commerce. We have a couple boutiques who have our handbags. Bloomingdale's did a trunk show for us in Florida a couple weeks ago as well. But right now, it's primarily e-commerce.
I suppose over time there's a retail play that you explore?
We will to a certain degree, but because we are a company who gives back, and we give back a good percentage of our profits.
Yeah.
So, it's difficult with retail because they take a large portion of it. And, companies like Bloomingdale's have been amazing working with us, on the percentages and all of that. But as we said, at the end of the day, it is a business, and we need to make money in order to make more bags, in order to move our mission forward. So as much as we can do, online, that's really our...
But don't be surprised if you get a phone call one day from...
But if Neiman Marcus or Bergdorf or anyone else is
who's watching,
yes, hi, we're available.
So let's show us some of the bags while we're here too. So you have. I know it's probably like asking to pick your favorite child, but do you have a favorite?
That's true. Well, I mean, we can tell you about our best seller and our newest bags.
And I don't know much about this. Is outside my expertise.
That's
so
okay.
My wife knows. So
we'll show you.
Okay.
So Street Smart has been our best seller, and it's super versatile. I'm gonna do your little
What's it made of?
dog and pony show. These are made all of Italian leather.
Cowhides.
Cowhides, yes. They're hand finished and hand embossed in West Palm Beach, which is our local neighborhood, basically. So
the bag is like a functional piece of art. So you can hold it like this, and the shape of the bag is very ergonomic, teardrop shape. If you're at a party and you're holding a glass of champagne, you can still hold your bag and a glass of champagne. If you have a little plate of food, you can still have that as well. And the thing is, it's an eye-catching piece. It holds, an iPhone, lip gloss, sunglasses. All the zippers are Italian zippers, and the inside of the bags are all calf suede, like the top of the line calf suede. I took the paper out of here. Let you have that one open.
Oh, maybe. And then the newest, it's kind of hard to see, but we do little accent colors on the inside of all the bags.
Oh, I got it. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera here.
Right, it's a dark blue inside of this one. And then this one, if you would like to model this for us, this is our newest.
This is going to be my first.
Edition.
All right.
See, it's awesome.
I did it the wrong way for the champagne. I want to try the... Yeah, that would work.
I do want to say this because he's another entrepreneur, but our mechanic, when he found out what we were doing, and he's friends with my daughter, he knows what happened to her, he wanted to be involved. So he saw this bag, and when he saw the finger grips, he was like, I can make those out of metal for you. So this is handmade by our mechanic in Boca Raton. But it kind of shows, how our community has become a part of our brand. So we listen to, input from everyone, from our mechanic to my 93-year-old grandmother to her dad, who's been amazing in giving us ideas and things. So it's really become a family, a community, of all of our friends and colleagues being a part of it.
It's really, I must say, it's very sturdy feeling too. Like
yes.
there's nothing like chintzy about it. It's very strong.
Right. Yes, it's very well made. There are rivets holding it in from the inside, and so anyway, this is our newest piece. We just picked this up from the factory yesterday, and this will be available right now. It's just going to be in this kind of aqua blue color, and we have several more coming.
And what does something like this retail for?
The bags range in price. The least expensive is the one behind you, which is $350. Mm-hmm. This bag is $375. This one is going to be probably around $625. We're still finalizing the pricing. And then the large tote in the back is $525.
This one?
Yes. And this one behind me in the white is actually the other one was $575. This one's probably going to be around $625 as well. So yeah.
And it's like a middle of the range price point.
Right.
It's not definitely the most expensive, but it's not something you're going to be able to pick up at any discount store. And I think when people, and they understand handbags and they look at the quality and they see that they're handmade parts of this bag and the stitching, yes. and they feel the quality and they know what they're getting.
Right.
And that was really important to us because we didn't want to cheapen our message.
Right.
Because it's too important.
Right. And as you grow the brand too, it's important to maintain that sort of high level quality. Yes. That goes along with the message, because otherwise, again, it hurts your ability in the marketplace, I think.
Exactly.
So, and you're self-funded, or do you have investors?
We are self-funded.
We're self-funded right now. And if you watch us, we're going to take a deep breath as we say that. Please go online and buy bags.
They're begging. Come on, guys. Who's going to buy a bag?
Please buy a bag.
And are you looking for outside investment?
I think at some point we're going to have to consider that as we grow the brand.
Yeah, even just for working capital or just for expansion purposes. Right.
But so far we've been
trying
to maintain it
on
our own.
Wow.
And
yes.
So how long were you working on this before you launched?
We actually started the company 3 years ago, and it takes a long time to get prototypes made, and especially when you're dealing with companies overseas. I mean, we did go through several countries before we ended up with manufacturing in the U.S. So all of that takes time, and people say they're
3 years from conception
yes.
to launch, though.
Yes.
Wow. That's a long time.
It was
you
a
know,
long
in
time.
technology, if you start a company 3 years ago, years later,
here
it's
we are
like
today.
it doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason, because when we first started the handbag company, as I said, it was just, it was just going to be something fun. And it wasn't until one day we were on the phone with a friend who said, have you ever thought about giving a portion of your proceeds back, do something good
Right.
with it.
That was the light bulb.
That was the light bulb. And everything became clear. And he was actually the connection who, said, why don't you give money to It's On Us, and kind of started the ball rolling. And as we said, that led to the White House and the UN and all of these crazy things that have happened.
And away we go.
And here we are.
go.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for spending some time with us today. Check out the website and read more about the mission of the company, but also about the causes that they support. There's some really amazing facts that I learned on the website. What is it? Every 6 hours, there's a woman is killed by her ex-boyfriend or husband in America.
Yes.
Yeah, all of those statistics are just in the U.S. And for any parents who are watching, if I can say this without crying, no, I can't. One in three.
Yeah, 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually assaulted before their 18th birthday, and the average age for a boy is age 4. Think about that for a minute. So when people don't want to start talking to their children about sex and safe touch and all of that, someone else is going to, and it's not going to be in the way that you would like it to happen.
So talk about it early, be specific, be graphic, and make sure that your children know that if anything happens to them, that they should come and tell you.
Well, that's really great advice, and it's an important topic, and one that we'll continue to talk about on our upcoming episodes too, because I think it's underreported, and it's something that needs to be said.
Yes.
So thank you for all the work that you guys do. Amazing
Thank
stuff.
you.
Really appreciate your time. Hope you guys enjoyed checking out this episode today, and hope you can check us out in the future, and definitely really read up on this site and on this amazing company and these extraordinary people. So thanks again for your time.
Thank you.